Hello. Did you know that according to the American Cancer Society, one in every two people will have some form of cancer before they die? That's a crazy statistic, isn't it? My name is Tanya, and this is Going from Surviving to Thriving. In 2007, I was diagnosed with a carcinosarcoma of the uterus. It was a devastating day. But now I have learned to wake up with gratitude and really be okay with where I'm at. So I'd like to tell you how I got here. I was working not a great job, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that it was 10-hour days and Monday through Thursday. And I loved it because I was able to sleep in a little bit. And then I had 3-day weekends. Um, I was camping once or twice a month with friends and really enjoying myself. Um, I wasn't necessarily eating the best or in the best of health, but that, you know, was how I was always handling it. And then I just started not feeling well. I get tired, and there's that little voice in the back of your head that says that something's not right. So I kind of ignored it for a little while. And then my symptoms seemed to get worse. Exhausted. I couldn't even finish a 10-hour shift. And I was able to do those before, and it was more and more difficult. And just kind of finishing the shift, going home, and going straight to bed. That wasn't right. So, this went on for a couple of months. And then one evening, I was sitting down sewing, and I felt like a gushing, and I ran upstairs. And by the time I got into the bathroom, my blue jeans were covered from knee to knee in blood, and I sat in my tub and bled for 40 minutes. Sort of looked like a scene out of Carrie. And so I cleaned it up, cleaned myself up, and I started my process of figuring out what was going on with me. Got my blood work done, and they did ultrasounds and a transvaginal ultrasound and pap smears, and all of these things came back non-conclusive or fine. They couldn't figure out what was going on. Fortunately for me, I advocated for myself, and I had a fantastic gynecologist. And I let her know, I'm like, I still feel like there's something wrong. So she told me that the only thing left that they could do was a DNC. With that, they found out that I had cancer, sar- carcinosarcoma of the uterus. That's two kinds of cancer. I have a very interesting factoid. Not many people know. Do you know that the average weight of a healthy uterus is only 4 ounces? So when they removed my uterus, it was over 10 pounds. So that's the size and weight of your average bowling ball, right? So that's kind of terrifying. I decided that I had to make a choice, right? Like we're gonna fight this. So I was sat down and I was told, you have this one day to rant to God about how unfair it is. You cry and whatever, but starting tomorrow, we're going to get up and we're going to kick cancer's butt. So that's what we did. We put together a plan. And this plan involves three pillars. The first is mindset. And every morning I would have one item on my to-do list, and that was to change my underwear. And I would put on a fresh pair of Wonder Woman's panties because Wonder Woman can't die. That was my physical representation of actively choosing. Number two is making sure that all of your support network is in alignment. Friends, family, and medical team all need to understand that you're going to kick cancer's butt, right? And the third is using alternative wellness modalities in addition to what the oncologist recommended. So I spent the next year fighting for my life. I went in for my chemo and I went in for my radiation, but I also used Reiki and aromatherapy and grounding and all these wonderful alternative wellness modalities. And do you know what? After after a while, I came to really be appreciative of every day that I have and wake up every morning with gratitude. I think that's super important. So I was able to find grace in the fact that I was doing that, even though while I was in it, everything was all about the cancer. And I was the diagnosis, as it were, which is crazy because there's life after cancer. So I now wake up and I'm grateful for being here. While I was going through my cancer, I never expected to have a family and children because without a uterus, you can't really have kids, right? Well, you can if you adopt them. The very worst day of my life was the day that I went in for round two. It took an ER nurse over 45 minutes to get an IV put in me. I was screaming in pain, and that was the day I almost chose to give up. And I said a prayer. I said, one more stick and we're done. And by the grace of God, Goddess, the universe, the nurse was able to stick. And it was just amazing that she was able to do. So I would like your permission to teach you a, a mindset activity that will help you. It's called creating an alter ego. When I talked about, using Wonder Woman's panties, that is a version of it. So, if you will, I want you to think about an aspect that you want to bring into your life, whether it is to be empowered, to be more confident, to learn something and figure out what that is. Now what I would like you to do is think of someone who represents that to you. It could be somebody famous, it could be somebody alive, it could be somebody who's not here anymore. It could be a politician, it could be your grandmother. And so what I want you to do now is close your eyes and really envision what that person brings to you and sort of build either a suit of armor or clothes. Like if it's grandma, maybe it's grandma's apron that will help you. For me, it was Wonder Woman's pantaloons. It could be a business suit, it could be a tie. So really connect the thing that you want to bring into your life with the visualization of that item. Maybe it's a hat. So once you have that, every morning you just don the garment or the hat or the whatever it is. You just put it on and it will help you get to that point. You may never have received a cancer diagnosis, but you probably have been through some sort of trauma or some other devastating diagnosis. No one should have to go through that kind of diagnosis without a plan. That's why I created the holistic wellness blueprint that we create as individuals together through my one-on-one coaching. Who's ready to learn how to do the superhero pose? Drop an S in the chat for me if you're willing to do that. It is similar to the mindset piece that we just learned on how to build an alter ego. This is a quick thing that you can learn. So I want everybody to stand up and I want you to strike your best superhero pose. And what's important about this is if you maintain this for just 2 minutes, it will bring you the extra confidence. So we want to do this activity when we're ready to go in to have a very important speech that we're a little nervous about, or when we have very important conversation that we need to have, or something along those lines. We're just going to hold that superhero pose for 2 whole minutes and think about the superhero that is your favorite and what they bring to the table. So, just 2 minutes, and you will have that additional confidence. You'll have that spark, that zazz. Got it? I think we do. So, at this time, I would like to offer you a resource that I find exceedingly helpful. It is a guide to 2 essential oils that will help you reduce stress and anxiety. See, I can't even speak right now, and that's okay. So I'm going to have my assistant drop that link in the chat for you. It's just a nice little resource. Again, it is the 2 essential oils that will help you reduce stress and anxiety. And maybe I can speak, right? Like, that's one of the things that the chemo kind of messed with me a little bit about. So that's all right, right? Like, sometimes my brain doesn't function, and I've learned how to be a little bit more graceful about that. So the link is in the chat for you for that resource that I'm giving away. My name is Tanya, and I'm your Holistic Cancer Wellness Guide. Thank you.